thoughtful ideas and suggestions for guests and topics.
Create events, programs, and
All the factors are useful.
Welcome to this week's segment of Dialogue Houston. I'm your host, Lawrence Payne. To our regular viewing audience, welcome. For those joining us perhaps for the first time here for HCC's TV Dialogue Houston, we can be found now every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 a.m. and again at 6 p.m. and Saturday afternoons at 3 p.m. As always, at the top of the program, let me thank you for your calls, emails, text messages, and suggestions for guests to be on future segments of Dialogue Houston, because we really enjoy your input, and we thank you for your comments about previous shows. It is also, therefore, important to know that this is your community affairs, public affairs show here on HCC TV, now proudly in its 26th season. We have a great show planned for you today. I mentioned it earlier, a guest and a program, an organization that has been on Dialogue Houston before over the years, and we're having them back because they are really exciting programs, exciting things they're doing, and it has really grown and developed. The program is Capital Idea, now in its 9th plus year, since 2010. And the best simple way to talk about Capital Idea is when they work with the individuals and they go through the training and the programming that they do and certificate training and others, they move from minimum wage jobs at $7.25 an hour to $24 an hour to anything in between, and now even some probably over that. Yes. Because it is really the basics of what it means to have a career navigator, to have someone as a case management to work with you, manager to work with you all the time. Capital Idea covers your tuition, your books, your fees, your supplies. It takes care of, it helps with childcare and transportation. In other words, it takes every excuse and every reason not to be successful off the plate. It is now totally on you as a human being to commit to the program, to commit to your studies and your learning, and be successful. And not only, as Michelle Paul, who is executive director, going to tell us, not only to be successful, but to thrive. Some of the people who have gone through this program are just moving on and keep moving on and going forward. And that's why I'm always so happy and proud to have Michelle Paul and Capital Idea on the show, because they truly change lives. Welcome.
Thank you, Larry.
Really? You change lives, you change individuals, you change the family's life, because now that person is more employed at a better rate to take care of their family. But tell us, the germ of the idea of Capital Idea came out of what?
It actually came out of San Antonio, because we have a sister organization in San Antonio. And so their advocacy organization or community organizing organization is called COPS Metro.
Yes.
And so 25 years ago, when Levi Strout factory was there and they closed down, then that left all of these middle-class folks at the time without jobs. And so as they were trying to re-engage and look for jobs, all they could find was really low-wage jobs. They had mortgages, they had kids in college. And so that's when that organization, COPS Metro, decided to talk to just the leaders, just to find out what was going on with them. And they were like, we're looking for jobs, but they're minimum wage.
Right.
And because of the relationship that this organization had with businesses, they met with the businesses and they're like, we have jobs.
Right.
But the issue is the skill gap.
Yeah.
And so hence they created these workforce strategies with the main focus of training individuals in high growth, high demand industries so they can earn living wage employment and be right in the middle class and continue paying their mortgages, or for the first time acquiring a mortgage. But certainly that position allowed them to be in an entry-level position, earning a living wage with room to grow and to get promoted, benefits. So it's literally taking folks from the secondary labor market and pushing them into the primary labor market. And there have been platinum studies, evidence-based studies done in these programs and this model. And basically, the study says that this is the one model in the United States that will take an individual or a family from poverty after training, living wage employment, and move them right into the middle class.
And it's important to bring up the fact that minimum wage jobs will never get you out of poverty.
No.
It is about a living wage.
Yes,
A fair living
Wage,
wage,
yes.
given the market.
yes.
And that's important because there is a level there of hourly employment that you have to have in this society just to be able to survive every day.
In the city of Houston, it's I know it's $18 and maybe
I
63
think it is.
cents,
Yep.
something like that.
Yep.
And that is what it needs for one individual to just survive with the basics, right? And so the idea of acquiring a degree and entering into a high wage, high demand is that there's growth. For example, I sat with a student yesterday, and this individual actually had a background when he came to us, was on probation, and he graduated as with an HVAC
Oh, yeah.
certification,
Right.
and then went on to get a degree in construction at HCC. His first job was at $12.75 an hour.
All right.
Today, he's making $65,000.
Yes, I mean, that's what we keep saying.
You know,
that.
as it's just growing and
Right,
growing
right.
and growing, and then the patience. But he continued always.
But it started with
always
that
in touch.
certificate program.
Absolutely, and his commitment
Yeah.
to doing that, because he literally left incarceration,
Right, right.
came to us, and decided there's got to be a different way. Yes.
And that commitment is so important. As I
Yeah.
said earlier, we can help with all the other things. We can take a lot of
Absolutely.
things off the plate as excuses.
Yes.
You still have to have the commitment and accountability
Absolutely.
to really want to do
Yes,
it.
because we're there with all of the resources.
Right.
Other story, you were talking about, the $24 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I believe our student that earns the highest, he's a little bit over 100,000. But when we met him and his family was just moving out of their car
Right.
into a dilapidated home. They had 5 children, older parents. He is now working as a nuclear med in the medical center. We paid for all of his books,
Right.
fees,
Right.
tuition,
Right.
tutoring, supplies, state board, and provided him with that wraparound services. And today, he has retired his parents. Because he takes care
Right,
of them.
right,
Because
right.
that was just
And
something.
$100,000, you can do that a year.
And plus himself
Right,
too.
right.
Absolutely.
But I think, again, he had the drive, the motivation,
Absolutely.
the commitment, the accountability. You help supply all the other stuff.
Yes.
But I think it's also showing the vision and what can be done
Yes.
if you stay with it for the long haul
Absolutely.
and down the road. But you have to apply yourself and you have to do all the
Yes.
things.
Absolutely.
You know, as you mentioned, the foundation of Capital Ideas San Antonio, which was birthed out of COPS, by the way, which stands for Citizens Organized for Public Service. Citizens Organized for Public Service, the original COPS. The organization here for Capital Idea Houston is TMO, right?
Yeah, the Metropolitan Organization.
Right. And they're the parent of the COPS organization in San Antonio, which is
Yes.
parent of the Industrial Areas Foundation
Yes.
thing around the country.
Yes, absolutely.
But I say all that to say this, they understood from the very beginning, because they were community organizers, because they were social activists,
Yes.
that if you did not change the paradigm of the employment
Yes.
and the ability to have a fair and just living wage,
Yes.
nothing was going to change.
That's right. Absolutely.
And they've done some good work, because as part of that, you got to change policies, you got
Yes.
to change legislation. They've done all of that.
And TMO here locally is our greatest supporter. They
Yes.
have done work at the state level, legislative level. We get funds from the state, funds locally here from the city, funds from HCC to actually do this work, and private foundations to do this work.
But it's an ongoing fight.
Yes,
And even
absolutely.
though you have a good track record,
Yes.
you have the statistics and data to prove that it works and is
Yes.
successful, you still have to continue the battle,
Yes.
because it's kind of like you have to keep proving yourself,
Yes.
and that the program works.
Yes.
Because I think in the back of what one legislator told me last session in Austin, we know that the minimum wage in Texas ought to be X amount.
Yeah.
We don't have the will, the gumption to move it forward to get
Yes.
it to there.
Yes.
but we know it's got to be raised.
It's got to be raised, and some companies here understand that. And
Yep,
they're doing it.
they're doing it
You
with
know,
that,
take
yeah.
Chase Bank for instance, and they support us.
Right.
You know, Bank of America, they support us. You know, I believe even Harris County, they've made some steps to increase that for their employees.
So the capital idea model works and works very well. Is it being replicated again around outside of maybe the network of COPS and TMO? Because it's a great model.
Yes, I mean here, just in the Southwest.
Right.
Okay.
Just in our little region,
We
yeah.
have Austin.
Yes,
Capital
that's what I
Idea
want- I
Austin.
thought, yes.
Capital Idea Houston. We have an organization in El Paso, an organization in the Valley, an organization in Dallas,
Okay.
an organization in northwestern Louisiana, an organization in Idaho, and an organization in Arizona.
Which gives you leverage.
Yes.
By having all of those
Yes,
as partners
absolutely.
and leverage. We're going to take a small pause and break. When we come back, we're going to really dive into the nuts and bolts and nitty gritty of how Capital Idea works, because we want you to know that it's there for you. It's attainable. We have a session coming up where you can come and learn all about it, kick the tires, and find out information that you need to be part of it, because it's simple. If you want to get it, you can get it. This is not brain surgery. This is not complicated. They've made it very clear, very simple, very easy. Case management, wraparound services, nurturing and supporting the human being in their quest to grow forward and to move forward. Please stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
This is Mac. She's ready to build herself a house and a business. But first, she's building her resume with a construction certification from Houston Community College. HCC, for everyone, anytime.
I don't know an industry today that doesn't rely on some amount of coding to run their business. Coding is the 21st century equivalent of the English language. And our particular flavor of this is the iOS Coding and Design School. And Apple's been very supportive and in fact joined with us to roll out the start of this Swift programming initiative. So it's a great opportunity to combine creativity with science and technology, contributing to this app economy.
Meet Wally. He's a single dad. He's also a role model for his 5-year-old son, going back to school with him. This time, Wally's going to Houston Community College for a second career. HCC, for everyone, anytime.
A great name like Capital Idea kind of says it all. It is a capital idea. It is a capital idea both socially, economically, and politically. It allows human beings to not only grow and develop, but to thrive. It has all the components and elements that it needs to understand how that system works to assist the student to be a complete human being in finishing their degrees and getting that next salary, that next level that takes care of their family. Michelle and I were talking, Michelle Paul, executive director, and I were talking during the break. It fits that classic model that we hear that is applied throughout things in our lives. If you change the narrative, you change the story, therefore you change the outcome.
Absolutely.
And that's exactly what Capital Idea does.
That's exactly what it's designed to do, is
Yep.
to change that economic narrative
Yep.
and story so that you will have that outcome. You know, one of the things that we talked about, Capital Idea is about new skills, new income, new life.
Yep, that's it. That's it. Simple as that.
Yes.
And I made it happen,
Yes,
right? Because I
yes.
applied myself
Absolutely.
with commitment and accountability.
Yes, yes. And you know, we're there to remove those barriers and to really
Right,
support you.
right.
Really support you.
You know, the very first time I had Capital Idea on, well, maybe it was second, you brought a student with
Yes.
you. And one of the things they said very clearly, in paraphrasing, they took all the excuses away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really, because now I'm just left.
I've got childcare.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
The car
Books are
broke
paid
down,
for.
and
We took
y'all
care
paid
of
to
that.
get the car
Yes,
fixed.
absolutely.
After that, what is there?
The only person that's in the way is you.
Exactly. And many times, sometimes that's the biggest stumbling block
yeah,
of all, is it not?
Yes, absolutely.
So you have a education fair coming up.
Yes, we have a free education
A
fair
free
coming up.
education, that's important
Yes.
in this day and age. A free education fair.
And at that education fair,
Right.
what you're going to learn is how to go to college for free.
Wait, say that again. How to go to college for free. The magic word.
Yes. It's going to be on March the 14th,
Uh-huh.
2020 at the Our Mother of Mercy Church. Individuals, if they want to learn more about it, can go to our website at www.capitalideahouston.org and sign up.
Right.
They can just scroll down, and we have about 6 or 7 ways for you to just click
There you
and
go.
sign up
There you go.
to show up on March the 14th.
Right.
What's going to happen at March the 14th? One of our partners here, Bridgier, we're gonna have test drives. So
Right.
what is a test drive?
Right, right.
You get a chance to test out what it's like to be a network technician, a phlebotomist. What does that actually feel like for about 15 or 20 minutes? What is it like to be an electrician? Because they actually have it set up where you can put the wires together. A little light
Don't
bulb
shock
comes
yourself.
on.
Right. Get it right.
You get a
it
chance to
right.
test out logistics,
Right.
supply chain management. These are the things that we pay for because the
Which
high
is big,
growth,
which is
high
big money.
demand.
Big money.
Yes,
I had an
absolutely.
ACC student that got a certificate in logistics and,
Yes,
and all
yes,
that stuff.
yes.
That's one of those $65,000 things right out of the bat.
Absolutely. And what we train in, you go to our website.
Yep.
Again, you'll see that on the screen, and we allied health, nursing, LVN,
Yep.
occupational
Get a job
therapists,
tomorrow in
physical
Houston, by the way.
therapists,
Anything in
surgical
health, you get a
tech.
job tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. And so on the 14th, we'll be there for about 4 hours.
Okay.
And people can come through, learn more about the program, sign up on that
There
day,
you go.
do a test drive, understand
love it.
how we're going to help you, even with the academics.
Yep.
Because what we know as adults or even students, we're afraid about that entrance test, right? So we have a program called College Prep. We'll help you get ready to pass
Right.
the entrance exam. And all of that, we're going to pay for that. Like you said, we just need you to show up for that.
And
You know?
it's all free.
Yes.
It's all free.
Yes.
Another one of those programs that I'm always amazed at is called the calibration of scientific health equipment. Somebody has to calibrate all that stuff.
Yes.
And because it's dealing with life and death stuff, it's got to be calibrated exactly right. That's another one of those $65,000 after a 6-month certificate course, right there at the medical center.
Yes.
They're waiting on you. They
Yes.
need them.
Yes, absolutely.
So I mean, it's all there.
Yeah, and it's high growth, high demand.
Yep, that's
you know
that's
the
it.
top
Yep.
5 industry here in Houston. That's what we train in.
And it's easy to find, Saturday the 14th, 10 to 2 o'clock, our Mother of Mercy Catholic Church on Stumpner. Look, take I-10 to Waco, Waco to Lyons, take a left on Lyons, take a right on Stumpner. The church is dead end at the end of Stumpner. You can't miss
Yes,
it.
and we're there from 10 to 2.
The easiest place,
Okay?
one of the easiest places
Yes.
to get to and find in Houston, Texas.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know, I think what I hear you say more and more, and obviously as you explain it, there used to be these barriers, these questions, it doesn't work for me, I can't get the help I need, they don't have the money. All that's gone.
All of that's gone.
That's
All
the
that's
beauty of it,
gone.
it's all gone.
Yes, and we're working with HCC
Right.
in some of these classes. For instance, the welding class. You can do the welding class at midnight.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
And a lot of other things you can do at night around
yes,
here.
So there's some flexibility. You know, in allied health is a little bit different, but you know, we train in process technology, welding, HVAC, logistics, supply chain management. Some of these classes, they're evening classes, they're weekend classes, they're day classes. So the flexibility is absolutely available.
And by the way, if you got a welding certificate, you can always find a job. My father made sure until he passed away, I got a welding certificate when I was in high school. I had to get it renewed. You got to get it renewed so often. You got
Yes.
to pass the test and pay some dues to the. He made sure that I kept my welding certificate current and alive. He said, you're going to college. You are going to college.
Yes.
In fact, you're going to college, you're going to graduate school, I'm
Yes.
telling you right now. But in between, if things happen to fall back on, you always have this because you can always get a job as a welder.
Absolutely, especially here,
Especially
in
here.
this city.
Yeah, yes. So this was in the
Yes.
Golden Triangle,
Yes,
same
absolutely.
thing. Anything to do
Yes.
with oil and gas.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
And he was so right. I ended up having to use it once, and I'm glad I had it. But it's just one of those things. You talk about a safety net. It was always a good feeling in the back of my head to know that I had a safety
Something to
net.
fall back. Absolutely, and that is exactly what we want to create.
Right.
Is that safety net, because a degree is portable.
Right.
You know, you get your degree at the Houston Community College, and you decide you want to move to New
Yep.
Mexico.
Yeah,
Guess
exactly.
what?
There
That
you go.
goes with you.
There you go.
It's
As does your
portable.
welding certificate, by the way.
Okay. Same thing. Absolutely.
And if you're going to get serious about welding, I just got to say this because I had a guy on the show a while back. Underwater deep sea welding.
Yes.
You can retire by the time you about
Absolutely.
40 years old
Yes.
if you
Yes.
do that.
Yes.
So the thing I think to take away in the few minutes we have left, Michelle, if there's anything that you can think about, I'm asked it this way 'cause I'm always curious because human beings are human beings, human nature is human nature. After all of this, what are still some of the classic excuses?
A lot of what's going on with individuals, time, okay? And in this current economy, you would see that enrollment is even down across the
Yeah.
college because,
Yeah.
oh, I can get this job, but it's still not a living wage
No.
job. Because the minute there's a crisis, you're right back where you started. So they feel like right now I'm okay, okay? But what I say is take the time and begin the process.
Yeah.
So when it does happen, you're there.
Yeah.
You're not thinking, oh my gosh, you know, we're having this unemployment crisis and I can't find this job. It's good now, but it will come because it's a cycle.
And we understand why you would be so ready to take that first job and happy to get
Yes.
that. If you've been in the desert for a long time and somebody offers you
Yes, absolutely.
water, you're gonna take it.
Absolutely. But there's a way to do it. I had to do it.
right, right.
You know, and a lot of our students, they do it. You know, and the ones that's in healthcare, their schedule is a little bit different. But
Right.
our other students, they work and they go to school.
What's the projection going forward in the workforce, and what are the top 5 or 6 jobs or skills that's going to be needed in the
Well,
future?
one of the things here in Houston, we know
Right.
in the top industry, we have oil and gas manufacturing, we have healthcare, we have construction, we have utilities, and definitely logistics,
Right.
transportation,
Right.
supply chain management.
Right.
And so we train in all of that.
Okay.
Okay, because those are the jobs, that's the future. And logistics, we have the second largest port
Oh,
in the
yes.
city of Houston.
Yes.
One of the largest medical, that's never going to go away. The medical center employs over 100,000 Houstonians.
Every day, city within a
every
city.
single day. And there's always a demand in the medical field. So everything we train in, high growth, high demand, and that's the goal.
So as we say here on ACC too, the future workforce and the future makeup of the workforce is changing so rapidly.
Yes.
Even the skill set that you may have gotten a few years ago and doing well at, it's changing too. So you got to
Yes.
keep constantly updating.
Upskilling.
You got to
Yes, yes.
and do that. And I think what many individuals who, as you said, are so time constrained in trying to just survive and make a living and go to
Yes.
school and take care of their family, that the time issue and time management of that issue and all that becomes so important even to help them with their well-balanced life and
Yes.
trying to balance all that stuff.
Yes.
And y'all do that too.
We absolutely do
you
that.
really
you
help
know,
them
yes,
try to look at the
yes.
whole picture.
Every one of our clients have a career navigator. Our career navigators, they're literally at the community college.
Right.
You meet with them on a weekly basis. We have a small emergency fund. That if something comes up, you're on your way to class, oh my God, and the tire blows
Right.
out.
Oh, yeah.
You don't, we need to take care of that because we need you going to class.
Yep.
Because this is really about, like we tell our students, it's about you. What we're here to do is support you through the process. We understand that distractions will come up and unplanned things will come up. And we can sit down, we can adjust, we can adapt, and we can plan how we're going to move through it. You don't have to quit.
So since the model works so well, funders should now having seen it enough and have the data and statistics to back it up, should be really ready, able, and much easier to fund this now because the model works. They know
Oh,
the
absolutely,
model works.
absolutely. And we have funds to support.
Yep.
Matter of fact, you know, from Bank of America, we got awarded the Community Builders Award.
Oh, wonderful.
For
All right.
$200,000. It's $100,000
All
a
right.
year. And it comes with leadership training for the leader and the emerging leader. We're very excited about that. Dollars from the state of Texas, the city of Houston, from Harris County. We're so excited about that. You know, so we would definitely want to grow funds from our funders, you know, because that is the way
Right.
that we're able to remove these barriers so these citizens could benefit.
Yeah, and shout out to Bank of America. They've been really good over the years in getting involved in these kind of programs and really supporting them.
Yes.
So if you put your crystal ball on in the last minute here, and we look down the road a little bit, it's only growth projected for Capital Idea. All I see it.
Only growth, and is growth projected for Capital Idea, and there are people here in Harris County, and we definitely want to serve them.
And that's important. They do serve the whole county.
Yes.
This county is a county-wide organization. As we look to that future, Houston will be 200 years old, and 2036 is our bicentennial. This is the 5th anniversary of HCC. Capital Idea is into their 10th year and will continue to grow and develop and develop. There has to be at some point, though, and this is kind of, I'm putting on my TMO hat for a moment, because I'm old TMO. Addressing this now going forward, less than an idea of looking at it as a charity, it really is a question of justice.
Is it social justice?
Yes.
Economic justice?
Yep. No,
Yes.
all of it.
All of it.
And so the
It's not about
investment-
charity.
Right, it's not charity.
It is not.
It's
It's about
investment in the
invest-
future. It's investment in
absolutely.
your workforce.
Absolutely.
It is truly that benchmark now.
Yes, because as we grow older,
Yes.
we're literally investing in the future workforce
Yeah, somebody's
to
gotta
pay
be
those
paying,
taxes.
somebody's got to be paying into your
Absolutely.
Social Security if
Absolutely.
it's still here. But I think it's a few years ago, we couldn't have used that justice word as easily as we can do now.
Yes.
Because it really is economic justice, social justice, community justice,
Yes.
period.
Absolutely.
And I think that's important because with the concept of justice goes still some things that you, the community, the public, as a civic person, as a citizen, can get engaged in. And that's to look at supporting public policies and other policies that address this issue of a living wage, of a fair, just living wage beyond a minimum wage, that addresses the issue of health care that goes with this, that addresses the issue of child care that goes with this. There are all these related areas that affect exactly this idea of the trained workforce. They all work in tandem, they all support each other, they all nurture each other, but we need to look at the complete picture to see how you, the citizen, can get involved in doing some of those legislative changes, policy changes that we need to accommodate the great work that Capital Idea is doing. So we'll talk more about that as we go into this year of 2020. I call it the decade of change, and really understand what some of those things are that we can do as citizens in a democracy. I'll end on this note always because we love to have still the conversation about two of the things of what it means to be a citizen living in a democracy, my individual rights and privileges. That's the great I and me discussion. We also have the other three, our duties, obligations, responsibilities to each other, which is the we and us discussion. We still haven't quite got to we and us. We still, no way have I read I to people. And Dr. Kleinberg will have on in a few weeks, will tell us more about the changing face of Houston and why we and us is the only way we can
Absolutely, and that's what we're about.
go. I know.
So we're in
All right, got to go. Michelle, thank you. We're out of time. Saturday the 14th at Mother Mercy Church, 10 to 2. Be there. Until then, as always, peace, power, and love.